the concepts of the relational algebra, and thereafter we are having the concept of the relational calculus, and within this we are having tuple relational calculus, and we are having the domain relational calculus. Okay, so these are all the subsequent aspects which are left over in the module 2. Okay, so coming to this particular relational algebra, all these things, friends, which are another way of representing the data. So suppose we are having the data and we want to solve certain aspects related to these data, like relational model. In the previous class, just we have seen what exactly a relational model is and which are all the constructs available related to that relational model. And as a continuation, just we'll be learning about how we are making use of various possibilities to represent and to access and to process the data, because merely a relation is a table and which is containing some set of the attributes, and as a developer, as a database user, we need to know various kinds of the data access and processing techniques that we are going to study, friends. Yes. Now, what exactly the relational algebra is? So the database management systems must have a query language so that the users can access the data which is stored in a database. Okay, so in that particular case, so how to manage this particular accessing or processing the data? So in that case, friends, just we are having the considerations how we are having like SQL and PLSQL. We do have other methodologies. Those particular methodologies are nothing but relational algebra and relational calculus. So out of those particular things, first let me talk about the relational algebra. Okay, relational algebra is considered as a procedural language where the user tells the system to carry out a set of operations to obtain the desired results. So all our expectation is to get some sort of the results, and further what we need to do is especially if you are using your relational algebra, so just you have to mention the user tells what data should be retrieved from the database and how to retrieve it. In case of the SQL, friends, only we are using what exactly your requirement. You need not mention how to retrieve it, but whereas in case of the relational algebra, along with what is your requirement, you have to mention the way how you are going to process the data. So you need to observe what exactly your requirement and how you are okay, how that particular thing is going to process. These things must be referenced. And once this definition is over, so which is considered as a procedural query language where the user tells the system to carry out some set of the operations and to obtain the desired results, whatever the results we are having, the user tells what exactly and how to process the data. Both the things must be mentioned. And we are adding some more points to this particular thing, friends, like relational algebra is a family of functionalities and methodologies which you can say as the algebra, with a well-founded semantics used for modeling the data stored in relational databases and defining queries on it. What do you mean by semantics, friends, here? Because one term we are using here, so how can you refer a semantic? Maybe in programming languages, friends, you would have listened about this tokens. Actually, what do you mean by a token is a token, like in case of the C or C++, will be having like, so 1 minute, friends. Sorry for that, friends. Okay, so if you are referencing this relational algebra, so what we are doing is just we are working with the semantics, friends. Okay, a semantic notation allows us like tokens kind of thing. In case of the programming language, we might be having some kind of tokens, like so keywords, identifiers, strings, constants, operators, how we are managing. Like a semantic specifies which are all the things available, some constructs we're having, because while learning any programming language we should be very cautious about which are all the constructs available. Like you are learning Python, for example. In Python we are having dictionaries, list, tuples, sets. Likewise we are having different kinds of constructs. So based on our requirement, based on our application, we need to observe, okay, some kind of constructs, and based on those constructs we have to design the applications. Okay, so if you are referencing the relational algebra, it is also providing some kind of the semantics, friends, used for modeling the data stored in a relational database and defining queries on it. Okay, and we'll consider the following three tables as examples, like to explain these relational algebra operations. We have a member table which deals about the members, a book table about the books, and borrow table details about the borrowed books. And now what we are doing is, friends, just we are going to observe some kind of the semantics as mentioned earlier, because already we are having idea about the usage of the structured query language. So select statement, where clause, insert, update, delete. Likewise we are having some kind of the constructs with us. And now we'll observe how this particular relational algebra helps us so as to maintain these kind of the querying, because as a developer, so you already we are having the knowledge of SQL and PLSQL kind of things. But now one more important thing is we need to have the relational algebra kind of the aspects, and these particular things helps us by providing various kinds of the semantics. And so as to process these kind of the operations, we are dependent on three different tables, friends. One is the member table, and second is the book table, and third one is the borrow table. Now have a look on this, what exactly this member, book, and borrow table contains. The member table contains member ID, name of the member, and date of birth of that particular member. And the book table contains book ID, name, and as well as the author. Okay, book ID, name, and author. And borrow, actually, if a person want to acquire some book from the library, he should have some library card. In that particular card, friends, will be given some kind of the access code. So and the librarian maintains one more table called borrow table, and that particular borrow table contains in our example some four fields. One is the member ID, book ID, borrow date, and return date. These are all the things available. Now we are going to apply some kind of the relational algebra operations so as to fetch the appropriate data. Okay, now observe here which are all the constructs available related to this thing. First one is the projection operation, friends. We are not going to call these things as insertions, deletions, and all, because relational algebra provides some kind of the semantics, and we need to observe those particular semantics in that manner only. Suppose if you are dealing with programming languages, class is there, object, and friend function. Likewise we are having different kinds of the terminologies. Similarly, in case of the relational algebra also, we are having certain terminology like projection, okay, and as well as selection, and thereafter rename, cross product, natural join, conditional join, union, intersection, set difference. Okay, so likewise we are having 9 different operations we are going to see as a part of our study. And projection is the first operation, friends, which is represented by the symbol pi. Projection is used to select the required columns of the data from a relation. Required columns, the columns which are required by us, specific columns, not all the columns. Okay, required columns of the data from a relation. Note that projection removes the duplicate data. Okay, we have to identify. So whereas in case of the SQL, friends, SQL, how to write the projection? in SQL. Suppose I am having the same kind of the requirement. Okay, the first operation we are talking about the selection in relational algebra, but we are having already um, idea about the uh, this SQL orientation. Okay, so just we are talking about the projection and as well as the selection. So first we are mentioning the projection. Projection means whatever the columns I am having, only those particular columns I want to retrieve. So project. So in case of the SQL, how can we access that thing, friends? How do we access that? So just we can access like this: select. Okay, so some member ID, comma, uh, borrow date, borrow date from. Okay, from, because we are having all these particular things from the borrow table, borrow. Okay, so if you observe this kind of the query, friends, this particular query says just we are selecting only required columns, only member ID and borrow date only we are selecting. Okay, this kind of the selection is known as the project operation. So if your select statement is used to identify only few columns from the set of the columns, then you can say that as a projection. So what we are seeing here is projection allows us selection of a required columns out of existing 10 columns. If I want to select only 2 columns, then that is known as the projection. Okay, so they may not give you in the examination or in the viva, they may directly ask you, the examiner may ask you, so just to apply the projection on this particular table with whatever the columns you want. So in that case, you need to observe based on the requirement, friends. Here what is the requirement is member IDs of the member who have borrowed books. Okay, so we need to have the member ID. Okay, and who are all borrowed the books. Suppose if you observe the member and borrowing the books, member 2, he has not taken any book from the library. Okay, that's what his number is not there, his member is not there. So if you refer this member ID, the members who are borrowed books only 1 3 4 5, even though we are having different members from 1 to 5, only these members has taken the books. And if you are referencing the representation of the pi, so pi member ID along with the book ID, which book he has borrowed. So along with this thing, so only we need to observe, so the books borrowed by the members, so whichever the books borrowed by these members. So just we are referencing this thing, and as per the definition of that projection, the projection removes the duplicate data, it won't repeats the data. But whereas in case of our selection, if you are having any repetitions, then those things will be outputted. But whereas if you refer the relational algebra, so regarding with this particular projection, it removes the duplicate data. Okay, and second is the selection method. So selection, friends, which is represented in this sigma format. Selection is used to select the required tuples of the data from a relation. During selection, we can specify a certain conditions that data must be satisfying. So in case of the projection, we are mentioning the corresponding columns, friends. Whereas if you are referencing details of the member who are born on specified date, from this particular table member, we are having member ID, name and date of birth, and we want to get a particular date. Okay, on that particular date who are born. So in that case, what we are expecting is details of the members who were born on specified date. So just we are making use of the selection, date of birth equal to corresponding date, and which table we want to process, friends, member table. So from the member table, we are selecting all the columns, but we are applying some condition like one date. Okay, just we have mentioned one date, and based on that particular date, we are electing the appropriate members, we are outputting the members. So the difference between the projection and selection is projection observes few columns. Okay, whereas if you are referencing the selection, all the columns will be, all the columns we are getting, but along with that we are mentioning some condition also. So this is the projection and as well as the selection. And coming to the rename option, so in the earlier lab we have seen the rename option in alter table. Okay, just I want to rename some kind of the no, directly we can rename the table, friends, but whereas if you want to change any column information, you can go with the alter option. And now we are having some rename option in relational algebra. So rename operation allows renaming a certain output relation, we know that, and rename the member relation as library member. So rather than using the member, so just what we are doing is just we are renaming that member as the library member. So here we are mentioning, okay, rename member to library member, that's all. So just we need to specify what exactly we are looking for the rename and how to perform with the operation of the rename. We are performing that. So just the member now onwards referred as library member is no longer available. Okay, so library member is something like, you know, which provides the member information, name and date of birth. Actually from the tables we are having member, book and borrow. Now the member is changed as the library member. So just we are renaming that, and you have to remember these symbols, friends. Okay, based on this particular symbol, and very simple compared with SQL. Also SQL, at least you need to write some kind of the column information and where clause and select statement like that. But whereas in case of the relational algebra, all the things are surrounded by some kind of the notations are important. And for the first thing, okay, the projection, the notation is there, and for the selection, and now we are taking the rename. Okay, this is sometimes called as a row, friends, because in mathematical terminology, so alpha, beta, gamma kind of thing, and rho, sigma, pi, these are all the most frequently used terms. So those terms only we are making use in the relational algebra, because relational algebra is built on top of the mathematical concept like algebra. So how you perform and how you compute the things, similarly the same kind of the options, same kind of the representations we are using in case of the relational algebra. And coming to the cross product, friends, so there is sometimes there may be a requirement of mapping the records from multiple tables. Suppose if you refer the cross product, so for example I am having some table A. So table A we are having with 3 records, and table B we are having with 4 records. Okay, so what cross product will give is 3 into 4, totally we can expect 12 records out of these two tables, because each and every record, table A first record mapped with the first record of the second table, second record of the first table matched with the first record, and as we are having third record also, it is mapped with the third record. Okay, similarly if you are referencing the next option, the second record of the first table mapped with the first record, and second record of the second table matched with the second record of the second table, and second record of the first table matched with the third record of the uh, second table. Likewise we are having some mapping. So similarly observe here, friends, in our example we have taken some 3 tables. Now cross product is used to combine data from two different relations into one combined relation. If we consider two relations, okay, A with n tuples and B with m tuples, A cross product B will consist of the n into m tuples. Like in our example, in the first table we are having 3 records, in the second table we are having 4 records, so 3 into 4, which gives the 12 records. Okay, now if you observe this particular point, friends, so we are having actually we are getting the information from member and borrow. So the member details are nothing but member ID, name of the member, date of birth. This is from the first table, and borrow table contains again member ID, borrow book ID, borrow date and return date. So now what we are doing is just we are mapping the records. Okay, whatever the records I am having, all these particular records are mapped with the each and every record of each and every record in the second table also. So first table, that's what repetitions are there, friends, because first record again mapping with the first record, second, third, like that. So let us see how many records were there in the first table. So first table, how many records are there, friends? 5 records. And in the borrow table we are having 5 records. So total how many records we can expect? 25 records. Reason is first table 5 records we are having, second table 5 records we are having. As we are applying the cross product, each and every record in each table mapped with the other table, okay, other table records. So automatically the 5 into 5 total 25 records will be outputted. So as 1 2 3 4 5 we are having in the book bar, I mean member table, all each and every member ID is mapped with the second member, okay, second table. So that is what the reason the replication of all these particular records can be observed with the cross product, which is most important, friends. Even in today's lab also we are going to discuss about the implementation of the joins, and we have seen in the earlier classes like the join options, okay, joins, various kinds of the joins we have seen in the class, like inner join, left outer join, right outer join, okay, full outer join, like that we are having various kinds of the join options. Now at the moment you observe, friends, here the natural join is very much similar to the inner join, friends, but only few differences are there. I'll give you that. And natural join between two or more relations will result in all the combination of the tuples where they have equal values for the common attribute. Okay, so if you are referencing the member ID, name, date of birth, book ID, borrow date and return date. Now at the moment you observe the combination of this member and borrow, okay, so actually member is containing the member ID, name and date of birth. Borrow table is also containing the member ID, book ID, borrow date and return date. But at the moment you observe this joins, friends, natural join, you could have observed some difference. Can you notify, friends, what is the difference? Okay, in case of the member we are having 3 columns, member ID, name and date of birth. In case of the borrow we are having 4 columns. Actually how many columns should be written? 7 columns. But now you can observe here, friends, in case of the natural join only we got 6 columns, not 7 columns. Can you able to figure out what is the distinction? What could be the reason behind that? If you could able to answer, then it is the difference between natural join and inner join, friends. Are you able to find out the difference? Because total 7 columns should be outputted, but only 6 columns were getting. What could be the reason? Hmm? What is the reason? So only the simple reason. Okay, so as usual you won't you won't tell anything, I know that. Okay, LNCB and Chetan, Deepesh, nowadays no C, nothing. Kishore also, uh, Rachana, if at least some members I am expecting. Okay, good. Yeah, you're all there, but only the thing is, yeah, you could not reply it back. Yeah, yeah. Tell me, what is the thing? Only the thing is, out of 7 columns, we are only getting the 6 columns. One important thing is, friends, in case of the natural join, if you are working with multiple columns, suppose if the tables which are involved in the join condition, if there is a repetition of the column in table 1 and table 2, only one time the column is going to represent by the natural join. Observe that in case of the inner join it's not like that. Inner join allows all the columns. Duplicate columns also you can expect. Okay, even there is no filter, so even it is observing the duplicate column also. Okay, so the reason behind this thing is, friends, while working with the natural join, it eliminates the duplicate columns. Suppose in the join condition, if the same column is repeated twice, it is not it won't allows that particular duplicate column. It only allows one time. So one time the column can be represented, but whereas in case of the inner join, just it is making use of how many times the columns are there, those many times the columns are going to represent. Okay, so basic question friends, natural join and inner join differentiation. Inner join allows all the columns with duplicates, okay, all the attributes. Maybe attribute 1 is there in table 1 and same attribute 1 is there in table 2, then attribute 1 appears twice in the inner join output. But whereas if I am talking about the natural join, so natural join is something like, you know, which is allowing only one time. Once the column is represented, that's it. And in the second table, even though the reference is there, it won't consider that. Only one time the join, the appropriate column will be outputted. And next important thing is there friends, conditional join. Okay, so in general, while working with the SQL orientation, we are having only few the inner join, left outer, right outer, full outer, like that we are having. But in addition to those particular things, in case of the relational algebra, we are having one more join called conditional join. Okay, conditional join. Along with the join, if you are mentioning some condition, then that becomes the conditional join. Okay, and conditional join is similar to the natural join, but in the conditional join we can specify any join condition with the operators greater than, less than, equal or not equal to. Okay, so along with the natural join, what is the property of the natural join? Natural join combines the records from the first table and second table. And one of the important aspect is, if any attribute is repeated in the second table, it won't consider. Only one time the attribute is going to present. And coming to this conditional join, along with the natural join, if you want to specify some condition along with the join, then you can specify this as a conditional join. And next important thing is there friends, borrowing details. Suppose if I want to apply some conditional join on my tables available, what I am doing is, just I want to get the details of the borrowing of members who have borrowed more than one book. More than one book means the members would have taken multiple books. Okay, so in that particular case, what I am doing is borrow and as well as the member table. Okay, borrow and as well as the member table. And here what I am doing is, member ID which is there in first table and as well as the second table. I mean, just I am combining the equation. So like the first member and as well as the member is mapped with the corresponding borrowed record or not. Okay, so because here we need to observe in such a way that friends, so member we are having and as well as the borrow. So first condition is member ID should be mapped with the borrow, and then more than one book. In that particular case, how I am writing the condition is intersection. So meaning to say that member ID must be mapped. Member ID why you are mapping is, at least the member should be taken one book. And after equating that, what we are doing is, b1 dot book id not equal to b2 dot book id. Okay, so here what we are trying to get is, suppose the book id and as well as the b2. So b1 means what friends? Actually the first member. Okay, b1 is the member alias name we are using, b1 dot book id. So here we are taking book id not equal to b2 dot book id. 1 minute friends. No problem Hitesh, no issue. So just you can join the session, no problem. Okay, if you are referencing this particular borrow, okay, so just we are trying is, multiple times the member would have taken the book. Suppose in this example, observe here friends, third member has taken multiple books. Okay, third member, because book id 5, book id 3, so 3 repeated twice. Okay, so based on that particular convention you can get the appropriate outcome. So output must be, okay, only 3 friends, because 1 2 out of 1 2 3 4 5, 2 has not taken any book, and the member 3 has taken 2 books. Our requirement is that only, just we are applying some condition. So based on that particular condition we are outputting the records, and output must be like this. So just the output is 3 only, and member id book id, and you can observe here friends actually. So member id, book id, borrow date and return date along with the member id, book id and borrow date and return date. So likewise we are representing all these kinds of the whatever the books he has taken. Okay, so here the important point is there friends, if you observe the third member id and as well as the maybe he has taken some different books. So how it is representing is first time it is representing 3 5 and the corresponding date, and the reverse order also it is showing friends like 3 3 book id. Actually the second record has been posted and as well as the first record. Okay, so it is representing twice the information. Maybe if I am observing the conditional join, so as per the representation only, so because we are mentioning the member details I want to print. Okay, I want to print the member details along with the whether he has taken the books or not. Okay, if multiple times if he is taken the book, then I have to output, and that too I am printing from the borrow, not from the member. So initially we are printing the borrow. Okay, this particular borrowing of member id, book id, borrow date and return date along with some condition. What is the condition? Multiple books must be taken by the corresponding member. Okay, this is what you call the conditional join. Similarly friends, I want to output a particular condition like this um, from this first table. I want to output the members who are having the date of birth less than 97. Okay, less than 97, only 97 we are having two members, Charlie and as well as the KT, so which is 3 and 5. And if you are referencing all the other members, their date of birth is 93, 95, 92 like that. So you can apply some kind of the conditional join here on the single data, I mean member. Okay, so just we are taking this particular member and we can apply some kind of the selection. So member id, name, date of birth, conditional join less than 1997. Okay, date of birth less than 1997, automatically we will be getting the members who are having the prior date of birth when compared with the 97. So on those particular conditions you can make use of the conditional join. Next is the union friends. What is the union in typical SQL? What exactly union says? Union allows us so as to combine all the records from the first table and as well as the second table. Okay, and we have seen the differentiation between the union and join also friends while working with various operators. Let me go to that. We have come across with the difference between union and join. Yeah, union, what it does is union places a result set on top of another. It appends the results. Okay, just it is trying okay, whatever the details I am having, so it is outputting 1 2 3 and last record whatever, just it is adding that. But the join is not like that. Join tests the condition and based on the condition it observes inner join or left join or whatever the things, it combines horizontally. So vertically means without checking anything, just all the records will be placed in the union output. But join is not like that. Mapping, okay, just it identifies the mapping of the records and based on the condition only it is going to output the records. So similarly, if you observe the union in case of the relational algebra, let us have an example. Book IDs of the books borrowed by Charlie and Mike. Just I want to combine these two records friends. Okay, these two information. So because member IDs, book IDs are there and as well as member IDs are also there. And one more important thing is in case of the members, we are having the name column, but in case of the borrow we don't have the name column. Okay, so but according to our requirement we need to have the name column also. Observe here friends. So member is containing the member ID, name and date of birth. Borrow is containing the member ID, book ID, borrow date and return date. Now what is our requirement? We need to observe the details of the members, okay, along with the name. some names in the query have been mentioned, and based on that particular query we need to fetch the information from the member, because that name is available in the member along with the book information. So now just have a look on this, how we are going to write the query. So first R1 result set. Okay, so just we are using this what is the use of pi, friends? Only book id we are taking, the projection book id I want to take, and selection of the name Charlie from member and borrow. Okay, so books borrowed by Charlie and Mike I want to get, and similarly second member is R2. So just we are applying this pi book id row name equal to Mike, and from the member and borrow. So what exactly R1 union R2 gives is 2 3 5, friends. So just you can observe which are all the books borrowed by Charlie and Mike. So first we need to identify the member id of the Charlie and then Mike, and then only we are going to get the book id. Now manually if you go and verify, so Charlie actually 3, he borrowed a book called 3, and similarly Charlie borrowed book 5 also. So Charlie borrowed two books, one is 3 and another is 5. Similarly Mike 4, only one book he has borrowed. So output must be 5 3 2, because Charlie borrowed two books and Mike borrowed only one book, and anyhow we need to have the book IDs borrowed by these members. So just 532 must be the answer. Okay, so similarly if you are referencing these particular union, okay, so union outputs the information, maybe it is looking like one table, but internally we gathered the information, we observed the join between member and borrow, as member is containing the name, borrow is containing the book id. From both the tables we have to fetch the data. From the member table, based on the name, we mapped that particular name to the member id, and after getting that member id, from that member id we got the book id. Okay, so based on this particular convention you can follow up the union operation. And then intersection, friends. What do you mean by intersection in the SQL? We have worked that. Intersection means the combination. So suppose I am having some two tables and I want to fetch the information from both the tables in common, then I can say that as the intersection. Similarly here also in relational algebra, member IDs of the members who have borrowed both the books, fences and as well as the inheritance. Now the member ID should be there, and but the book name is available in the borrow. Okay, so this particular book, actually third table we have not yet seen, friends. Now we are working on the third table. Actually the third table, we are familiar with the member table and borrow table. Member table is containing the member ID, name and date of birth. Borrow table containing the member ID, book ID, date borrowed and as well as the date returned. These things are there. But now what we are doing is we are working on the book also, because our query demands like the book name they have given, they have not given the book id, they have not given the member id. Some situations, you know, whereas some professor want to get some book name, and maybe librarian is telling that your student only got that book, better you contact him, like that he told. In that particular case he want to get the information, okay, of that student. So we know the book names, fences and as well as the inheritance. These two book names we are having, 3 and as well as the 5 book IDs, and we need to fetch the information in such a way that related to those book IDs 3 and as well as the 5. Okay, these 3 and 5 books are there with Charlie only, because if you observe the third book ID and as well as the fifth book ID, both the book IDs are mapped with the member ID 3. Okay, so because he is having that particular books, okay, the professor need to contact this member Charlie so that he can get the book. But now the query is like this, friends. We need to get the information who has taken fences and as well as the inheritance book, both the books. So the combination here you can observe. Okay, just you can observe the intersection, who is having the fences and as well as the inheritance. So just we need to fetch the member id, our requirement is member id only. This is the outcome. And name of the book, in the first query we are mentioning the fences and we are joining the book and borrow, and union Okay, so I mean intersection what we are doing R2. So just we are fetching the member ID along with the inheritance book name, and we need to apply the join option between book and borrow. And once that R1 and R2 has been written, you can apply the relational algebra intersection operation. From R1 we are getting 3 and R2 we are getting 3. Okay, so whatever the member ID repeated in both the result set R1 and R2, that particular member ID only we are going to get. Okay, so finally the difference means set difference, friends. Already we have seen this is nothing but the minus operator actually in SQL. If I am talking about the set difference, only first set whatever I am having from that particular set only, if I want to output the record, I can go with the set difference. So member IDs of the members who have never borrowed books. So suppose I am having a member and as well as the borrow. So if you are referencing the actual table, okay, these three tables, member, book and borrow, who has not taken any book so far, because there is some audit, and there are some points, assume that, okay, for visiting the library, for sitting in the library, and for referencing, maybe you will be given some assignment or something like that, and your professor asked you to go and collect the literature from the library. So in that particular case, they may ask the librarian who are all the members has visited the library, and how much time they have spent, and which are all the books they have borrowed, and whether they really worked or not. Okay, there is some kind of the monitoring is there, assume that. So in that particular case, we want to find out the members who are not so far visited the library or not taken any book. Okay, so just to observe here, from this particular member ID, okay, what we are doing is the members who are not matched with any of the member in the borrow. Okay, because we have to take the member and as well as the borrow. Actually that conditional join is there. What exactly conditional join mention? You can use the less than, greater than, equal to and not equal to operators in the conditional join. You can apply the not equal to, and one of the important thing is in that way you can perform so as to find out the member who has not taken the book. Similarly, you can perform in another way also. That is, another way is you can subtract these members and as well as the members of the borrow. And if I am able to subtract, as 1 3 4 5 all are available in this borrow also, except this particular 2 in member, all members will be deleted. So only second member is going to get as the output. So now you can observe here as a part of this implementation. So R1, just we are taking the member ID, name, date of birth from the member table, and what we are doing is we are applying some kind of the join condition. Okay, R2 contains, friends, R2 exactly what it is containing is the member ID, name, date of birth, okay, whatever the borrow information we are having from the borrow table. So just who are all the members borrowed the books can be expected from the result set 2, and result set 1 we are having all the member information. Now what we are doing is we are subtracting this second result set from the first one. Obviously the result will end up with member 2. Okay, Bob has not yet taken any book from the library. Okay, so this is what you can observe, friends, the set differentiation. There are little bit distinctions between SQL and this particular relational algebra, friends, because in case of the SQL we need to mention what you are requiring, but whereas in case of the relational algebra, along with what, you have to mention how also. That is the reason behind very elaborately we are mentioning our conditions and as well as all these things. Okay, you would have observed that. Okay, starting from the projection, selection, and as well as a rename, cross product, natural join, conditional join, union, intersect, and as well as the set difference. In each and everything, if you are observing the SQL kind of the implementation with the simple select statement and with the simple where clause, I can get the outcome. But whereas if I am talking about these kind of the conventions, the relational algebra, it's not a single step process, friends. You have to get multiple result set, if you observe these kind of the examples. And as a third step only, you could able to perform the appropriate requirement, because how we need to perform that activity and what exactly you are requiring, both the dimensions you have to specify. But whereas in case of the SQL, it is enough to specify what only. But in case of the this relational algebra, we need to mention both the things. Okay, any doubts with this, friends? Please let me know. So let me summarize the relational algebra. Okay, meantime, while I am getting any doubts from you, yeah, relational algebra, what it is saying is RA. Okay, we need to mention what exactly and how to perform that. Both the things you have to mention. And starting from that particular projection, okay, projection we are having, selection we are having, and thereafter, friends, natural join, conditional join, and then we are having union, and intersect, and we are having some minus. What else we have discussed, friends? Let me see that. Projection mentioned, selection I have mentioned, yeah, rename I forgot, rename and cross product. Okay, so just we are having rename, yeah, rename, and we are having the cross product. Okay, so nothing wrong, friends. If you are having any doubt, you can tell, otherwise you can go ahead to the next topic, right? Okay, and now we are in the starting of the relational calculus. Okay, just observe here, friends, what is the distinction basically between relational algebra and relational calculus. So relational algebra specifies procedures and methods to fetch data, hence it is called the procedural query language. Okay, because we have seen like rename option, union, intersection, selection, projection, like that. But now at the moment I am talking about the relational calculus, what we are doing is in relational algebra there is a procedural query language, whereas relational calculus is non-procedural query language, focus on just fetching data rather than how the query will work and how data will be fetched. And it is not focusing on how, friends, it is only focusing on what exactly your requirement is. And one more important thing is your relational algebra is a procedural language. Your relational algebra is a procedural language, whereas your relational calculus is a non-procedural language. Okay, let us see, we'll see with some examples so that you can realize how you can make use of the relational algebra so as to fetch the data. And after seeing this relational calculus examples, you can realize that okay, this is the way we can process the relational calculus. And simply relational calculus is nothing but focusing on what to do rather than focusing on how to do. We are not bothering about how we are going to perform, friends. We are only bothering about what exactly our requirement is, as that of the SQL. So this our relational calculus is very nearer to the SQL conceptually. Reason is in SQL we are specifying only what, but whereas in case of the relational algebra we are specifying what and how. Okay, and similar to that SQL, relational calculus also specifying only what. But only the thing is, friends, here in case of the relational calculus you have to follow either of the format. One format is tuple relational calculus, another format is your domain relational calculus. Okay, so the tuple relational calculus and as well as the domain relational calculus allows us how we are making use of okay, the convention of this relational calculus. Okay, so in the next coming session, friends, we are going to talk about domain relational calculus and as well as the tuple relational calculus, and the way how we are going to fetch the information so that we can complete the second module. So any doubts in this thing, friends, please let me know so that we can